Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good in our community. We also love having authors come on talking about their new books. We're joined by Cristina Matizias. She is a senator of Economy International, a coach, a keynote speaker, an entrepreneur, and so much more. Her new book is Miles for Life. We'll talk all about Miles for Life here in just a second, but Cristina, how are you doing?
Thank you. I'm very well. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for the invitation to your radio show.
Absolutely. Well, you have a really powerful story. We'll talk about your book in just a second, but give us a little bit of your backstory of coming to America and landing in Nashville, Tennessee. Give us a little bit of your backstory.
Yeah, I really love it to live here. So we moved here 3.5 years ago from Switzerland. I'm originally German, but I lived before 14 years in Switzerland. And we moved here because of my husband's job. And I'm an individual person. And so I was looking also what I can do by myself. And the first step I did here was as a senator, I got elected in the Senate of Economy US as a vice president to build it up here in the States. It's a think tank between politicians, entrepreneurs, and people out of science in Germany. They are very successful and working there with the government on the state and with the chancellor and everyone, and also we have other countries in Europe as well. They want to go global, and so they decided also to go to the States. They have a small group in the States. What I do in Tennessee now is I represent the Senate of Economy here, and what I do is I connect entrepreneurs who want to do business in Europe, in Germany, and in Switzerland. I connect them with other entrepreneurs or the Senate of Economy. That's what I'm doing pretty often, and it's very interesting because we have different cultures.
Well, and talk about the different cultures. What have been some of the amazing changes and opportunities, and then what have been some of the challenges being able to kind of come between, but obviously move into the US culturally? What are some of the good and the bad things that you've experienced?
So the good thing is that we are here in a culture where people are moving. Everybody is used to move. So people move from one state to the other. We don't know that. We know it in Germany as well, but the country is much smaller. And in Switzerland, it's people really love to live for generations still in their city or whatever. And that made it very easy for me because it was very open, and it was a very welcome atmosphere for me. People connected me, and everybody was like, "Hey, can I help you?" And that is something which was really new for me. But I think it's because people know that. And and what was the challenge? Well, the challenge is my friends and and I have 2 kids. I had to settle here, and but you see, everything in life has 2 sides, and I prefer today more to see the positive things. But I really know that we also, during the pandemic, we couldn't travel. Our daughter was in Germany, and because she was graduating there, and we didn't know when we see her again. That was a tough time. But also there, we said, hey, we have today FaceTime. We can do FaceTime calls, and it makes it much easier. And when I met her later, she said, hey, it's nearly the same in a way. So it's good.
Let's talk about your book, and the book is Miles for Life. You've already released it over in Europe, and it's become a bestseller. So congratulations on that success already. And so talk about what led you to write the book.
Yeah, that was really interesting to write this book. I'm a business coach and business trainer, and I was, I had for many years, I moved with my husband, and we took his career in front because we said, when you have 2 kids, one has to watch for the kids. But I also had a good career before that. And so I got one day in the middle of this education, I got the diagnosis of breast cancer. And when you're in this process that you do at this education, you also think a lot about yourself. And I said by myself when I got that diagnosis, hey, I don't want to do the chemotherapy because I have to heal first my soul, because otherwise it will cover. But that was my individual way. But I realized when I lived in Switzerland, it was a little bit, I don't know if you know that, but in Switzerland, we have a little bit, or we have a competition between Germans and Swiss. And so I felt also sometimes very isolated, because my family was away. That was my first step, to go abroad from Germany. And it made something with me to stop my career, to put everything in our family, which was okay. But I was on that step to go back into my career. And I realized that I have to heal first my soul. And I'm absolutely not against against school medicine, but for example, my doctor said then the risk of relapse will go down significant when I'm running regularly. And I'm an ambitious person. And then I said, okay, I need now a goal, because you have all of a sudden when you have breast cancer and you don't know how it will be with your future life. I had to put small goals. And then I said, okay, I always wanted to run a half marathon. And so I said, okay, then I'm going to exercise for a half marathon. I really lived for this half marathon in Basel that day. And I was exercising every day. And during my 6 weeks of radiation, I was running in the morning after my radiation, and I had no side effects. And I was talking a lot. Well, people, when you move to the States, and I had my last surgery in April, and then I did also the complete move to the States in May. So in May, they put all our furniture away. And in July, we started in the States. So this was also a big step. And yeah, and when I came here and people asked me what I am doing, and then I said, yeah, I have to fly back and forth because of the checkups and everything. And they really motivated to write the book. That was also from here.
What do you hope? Well, but what do you hope on your end by sharing this personal story? What do you hope that readers take away? Because I mean, already to your point, being focused and having goals. And I mean, there's a lot of things already with what you're talking about with sharing your story that people can take away. What do you hope they take away from reading the book?
I want that, and that's why I wrote the book. It's not only about my breast cancer journey, it's also about, I took all the tools I did during the education, I put in the book. And for example, how everybody has a topic with inner child and things like that when you're in the coaching business. I'm talking about that. And I'm talking about stuff, we Germans, we are a closed nation. We want to be perfect. We are very serious. We don't talk about weakness or failure or whatever, but I realized, and I was perfect in that role. I was very perfect. Everything was perfect. I have a successful husband, cool kids and everything. But it makes something with you. And in Germany, we don't talk about that. We don't talk so much about feelings. We want to be always successful, and you have to, and no weakness. But if you want to be really strong, you really have to be aware of that is part of the life, and it's up to you how you handle it. And why I wrote the book, I want to show women, because I had a period in my life when I was running then in the very beginning when I started, I felt so lonesome, and I thought it's only me who has these problems, no one around me. But that is not true. We just don't talk about it. And then when I started to talk about it, then I realized, hey, other women tell me, yeah, I have the same topics. And that is exactly what I get back from the book now, from people who write me, women who write me. They always say, hey, we have such a similar life. And I think if we want to be really strong as women, then we have to talk about these things, and we have to motivate each other. And in Germany, We have also in Switzerland, we have a competition between women. I didn't realize that so much in the States, that you have to tell me, because I'm coming from outside. And when you're coming from outside to the States, normally people are very friendly to you and want to help you. But that is what I realized in Germany. And we really have to learn that we have to support each other, and that we should support each other. And that's why I wrote the book, to motivate others, really to motivate, even if it's very, very difficult. And don't you hope that there's always hope.
When you look at being vulnerable, which you have become, obviously, as you mentioned, it's like, it's one thing you've got to put on the air of success, but then you realize, wait a second, to be strong, I need to be vulnerable. And obviously writing the book, you're putting yourself out there and being vulnerable. How has that changed now your life and the way you go about interacting with others, and obviously being an inspiration to others? How has that changed you personally?
Well, I knew with that book, because it's so personal, that I will have people who will like it, and there will be others. And now I'm really in that, I really realized that also, that people, not everybody can understand it, what I'm doing, but a lot of people understand it. But today I'm so, I feel so safe and so good that I decided for myself, I focus on the positive things and the people who need it. And a very important thing is, for me, we see in Germany always these very successful female entrepreneurs. These are our role models. And I also saw them, but I was on the other side. I was a mother with 2 kids and helping, supporting my husband's career, moving with him. So they were far away. And I wrote that book really for the other women, for most of the women have another life still, and we have to change. And for these women, I want to show, hey, if you stand up and you want to live your dreams, just get it. Because that was what I did. I was, a couple of years ago, when you say it, I don't know what you say in the States. I say it was like housewife or something like that. I just was. And then I said, okay, I'm 50 now, but I want to go back into my career and do my job and everything. And I built it up from the scratch for myself. And it was tough. It was a lot of strength. And you have a lot of people who said, oh, you're now too old or whatever. And even my husband was like this. He was like, will she make it? But I said, I wanted to do it. And that is the message I want to give out. It doesn't matter how old are you, you can always change your life.
Absolutely.
And what also is very interesting, when you can't change other people, you can't change them. But when you change, something happens with your surrounding. So you should focus on yourself and not on the others.
Give a little bit of an illustration on your coaching side, as you mentioned on the coaching, talk about that. And then also too, just your support of nonprofits. You do a lot to be able to give back and support nonprofits. So give us a little bit of an illustration on those two sides.
So first with coaching, I do today a lot of Zoom coaching to Europe. That is pretty interesting. And women who read my book, they write me now and said, hey, can you coach me? I did this before, but I haven't done it official. So in Switzerland, no, it's not true. In Switzerland, I was coaching unemployed over 50 people, but I did that volunteer-wise and bring them back in their jobs. And that was a lot of fun, because when you see, and for me, it's not the money so much. Well, we all want to earn money, that's it's for sure. But you say purpose, why I do it, it's because I really want to have strong people, and it motivated me. I was coaching the first client after my first surgery, or before my first after my first surgery. So I was hurt at that time, but it gave me so much power to see that I could help this person. After 4 coachings, he was for 1.5 years, he was unemployed, And it was just about self-confidence. And I helped him in 4 coachings, and he got his job as a CFO, and he's still there. And that gave me so much power and strength. And I think that's what about life is.
Absolutely. And talk about your support of nonprofits.
Well, with the German book, I support the German Breast Cancer Association organization, because what they do, they help women when you finished with your treatments and everything. So after months, there were people around you and helped you. And then all of a sudden, after 1 year or how long it lasts, some are more shorter or longer, the women have all of a sudden, they are by themselves again. And this organization helps them with healing weekends and gives them the feeling to come together. And so, and for me, they built it in 2018, so in the northern part of Germany. And if I would have known or had something, it would have given me a lot of strength, because I did it all by myself. Everything what I realized, I really came out of me, and I put it in the book. And it's so much easier also there when you help each other.
Yeah.
And I really like that. And we there's also another book in Germany where they interviewed 21 women of us from all professions and everything. And we all had breast cancer, and you realize all of a sudden, hey, it can happen to everyone, and you put it always away. And for me personal, I that was my promise. I said, I want to give back when I'm healthy, and that's for what I'm doing it. And I love to also to help women or girls who have not the opportunity. So I do always volunteer coaching as well. Yesterday we met at your City Current lunch, the Epic Girls, and that is something I think it's so important.
We'll wrap up on your end with where we can get the book. And so where can we get the book and also follow your efforts?
So my book, you will get it on Amazon for sure next week. Even the German book you can get on Amazon.com in the US, which was very interesting. And with the German book, we had the Amazon bestseller list of new coming books. I was very proud of that. And now we will see how it will be in the States. And what I will do, I will book signing parties and stuff like that. And I will do speeches. But I'm not so, also with the book, it's nice that people are interested in it. But I wrote it with the feeling it hasn't to be a bestseller. It will reach the women or the men or whatever who needs it, and they will find it. And I believe in these things today. I was a very rational person in former days. Today I believe in it, and that is my main focus. It will reach the right person, and then they will put their strength out of it.
Well, where can we follow you? Because I know that I personally follow you on social media, but how can we follow you on social media and follow your efforts?
Oh, well, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. But my main focus is at the moment on Instagram. But we build up now in the back also LinkedIn very much, because I want to go into companies and talk about and empower people, because I think to be strong and to be successful in your profession, you have to be strong inside.
Well, Christina, you are an inspiration. Thank you for everything you're doing. Best of success with the book, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It was great to seeing you again. Hope to see you in person soon again in Nashville.